the early 1300s, Europe was alive with activity. Cities like Florence, Paris, and London were growing fast. Stone buildings climbed skyward. Markets overflowed with goods from the east. Silk, spices, exotic fruits. Ships sailed in and out of ports, carrying goods. Trade was booming. A middle class was rising. People were hopeful. For the first time in centuries, life felt like it was moving forward. But something was coming. Not an army, not a war, not a storm. It was something so small, no one could see it. It would bring death to millions and change the world forever. This is the story of the Black Death. To understand the disaster, we have to look at the world before it struck. Europe was crowded and buzzing. Cities like Venice, Bruges, and Milan were filled with people, animals, and noise. Narrow streets were packed with market stalls. Water was often dirty. People dumped waste into the streets. Rats ran freely. The social structure was strict. Most people were peasants, working long hours in fields they didn't own. A handful of nobles and kings held all the power. And above them all stood the church. The Catholic Church was more than a religion. It was the voice of truth. People believed sickness was caused by sin. God controlled life and death. But far to the east, beyond the mountains and deserts, something silent and deadly had begun. The Black Death began not in Europe, but in the heart of Asia, possibly in the Gobi Desert, for the land is dry and the winds are sharp. There, a bacteria named Yersinia pestis lived quietly inside the stomachs of fleas. These fleas clung to black rats, who traveled with caravans and merchants along the Silk Road. As Mongol traders and warriors moved westward, they unknowingly carried the disease with them. The plague spread like wildfire, and then it reached the sea. In October 1347, 12 ships from the Crimean Peninsula docked in the Sicilian port of Messina. Townspeople rushed to greet the ships, eager to trade. But when the cargo doors opened, horror! Most of the sailors were dead. Those still alive were gravely ill, covered in black boils and coughing blood. Within days, the disease spread through the town. Within weeks, it reached the Italian mainland. Europe was about to face the deadliest event in its history. The plague didn't move slowly. It raced through Europe like fire on dry grass. From Italy, it spread north to France, then west to Spain, east to Hungary, across the Channel to England. No village, no city, no castle was safe. The symptoms were terrifying. First, fever, then chills, pain that made it hard to move. Soon after, large black lumps, called buboes, appeared under the arms, around the neck, and in the groin. Filled with pus and blood, they were incredibly painful. Some victims also coughed up blood. Some went mad before dying, and most died within 3 to 5 days. Families turned against each other. Parents left sick children. Neighbors barred their doors. Priests and doctors fled. Graves were not dug fast enough. Corpses piled up in the streets. The stench was unbearable. In many towns, half the people were dead. By 1351, the plague had killed an estimated 25 to 50 million people in Europe, between 1/3 and 1/2 of the entire population. Europe was drowning in sorrow, but after death came something else: change. With fewer people alive, workers were suddenly valuable. Peasants who had been treated like property could now ask for higher wages, and many got them. Lords and kings didn't like it, but they couldn't stop it. The old system of feudalism, where the rich ruled and the poor served, began to break apart. If you want part 2 of this video, subscribe to our channel and comment part 2 below.